All right, neighbors, I'm back. This is set B. If you looked at our previous video, that was set A. I had so much fun making this last week, so I wanted to go back towards these Hansik sets. Now, last week I didn't describe, but Hansik is just the term which means Korean food. And traditionally, of course, it comes with a small bowl of rice, a soup, and then in the old days, you used to have a full table spread of banchans. But now, of course, in the modern workplace, nobody's got time to make a full table spread. So it's usually quality over quantity. And I think most families do maybe 1 to 2 or maybe even 3 banchans when they do traditional Korean meals. So if you've enjoyed some of our standalone banchan recipes, put a soup with it and pair it with a few more banchans, and you got yourself a modern Hansik meal. For our Hansik set today, our central soup is going to be fish cake soup. In Korean, fish cake is called eomuk. Eomuk guk. Guk means soup, so eomuk guk. I'm going to take out my bigger tin pot. These are very cheap in Korea, and you'll see this in just about every Korean household. We love to make ramen in this or other street food style soups. This heats up very quickly, so you don't have to wait all day for that water to boil. Not recommended for stews or slow cooking. Again, this is like fast cooking. We're gonna add 1.5 liters of water or 6.5 standard cups. And during the weekdays, speed is key, so I like to use these broth bags. These are anchovy kelp broth bags. For this amount of water, I'm gonna throw in 2. Or if you're gonna do it the traditional way, I would put in about 15 to 20 anchovies, as well as 5 or 6 square pieces of dashma. Put that in and boil it for about 10 minutes. And this one, just to show you what's inside, there's dried anchovy, there's kelp, they have little shrimp, as well as some other dried vegetables. This one's pretty good. Let's bring it up to boil, and once it does, we'll reduce the heat to about a medium so that it could just simmer. If you go to the refrigerated section of a Korean market, you're gonna find these small packets. I picked out a handful of the fish cakes that I like. Now, if you've never had fish cakes, I mean, even the word fish cake sounds kind of iffy. The next time you're at a Korean or Japanese restaurant and you see it on the menu, give it a try. I think you may like it, especially in broth or soups. There's plenty of flavors that get released when this boils, but I do like to add a few vegetables just to add different texture. We're gonna do 2 medium-sized potatoes about the size of your palm, 2 pyogobazat, which is the Korean word for shiitake mushroom. It's actually a little bit different, but roughly the same. And then about a forearm length piece of spring onion. I added just another green part just because I want some color in the soup, okay? Now that's come to boil, reduce it from a high to about a medium low, and then we'll put 10 minutes on the clock. For the spring onions, just rough chops. For our mushroom, these are actually pretty big. We're gonna cut them lengthwise like this. And then our potatoes, let's just give them rough. I haven't had this eomuk soup in a long time. Nice to have this again. Cut them. Ooh, I like this bigger piece as well. Don't you just love how that looks? That perfect circle. About 2 or 3 cloves of garlic. All right, the bell tower is ringing. Let's take these out. The little foam on top, you can skim it out. Right, no need to get everything. It's okay. I'm gonna take a quick sip of the broth. Oh, that's so deep tasting. What's gonna take the longest? The potatoes. Throw them in. Let's raise the heat to about a medium. We'll just wait till the potatoes start to get a little bit soft. I'm gonna give it around 3 minutes. Okay, guys, let's add the fish back into the sea. Into the sea. We're gonna add a half tablespoon of minced garlic. Now it's time to bring that classic flavor out. Then we're gonna season with some guk 간장, soup soy sauce. If you don't have soup soy sauce, that's fine. Just use regular soy sauce. 1.5 tablespoons of soup soy sauce. 1 tablespoon in. Just the other half. Just add that in. And as you can see, the eomuk are getting slightly bigger. This is one of those foods that soak in water. That's why we are adding 1.5 liters of water from the beginning. You definitely want to add some black pepper. 6 or 7 shakes. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then it's the finale. We just need to add some color. There's the mushrooms. Beautiful. Look at that thing. Let's just let it boil for 1 minute and we'll turn off the heat. All right, that's 1 minute. We have the potatoes on the bottom, trying to get them to the surface. Yes. Oh, let me grab a little bit of the soup. And that's what it looks like, guys. Looks really tasty, right? And we didn't add any MSG, okay? Right, let's give a final taste of the broth. Ooh, in Korean we call it 시원해, that refreshing flavor. That last 2% I was talking about, I'm gonna just grab a pinch of salt. All right, mix it around. Now this last part where I added the salt, if you really wanted to get that authentic street flavor, you just add a pinch of MSG right there, just a little pinch, and it really goes the next level. Sorry guys, before I move on, I just gotta bite into one of these. All right, we visited the sea. We gotta take off our wetsuits and we gotta go to the farm. We're gonna pick some aubergines and eggplant. Yes, we're gonna use 3 aubergines. Aubergino. Yeah, and just look at the color. It's interesting how nature, I mean, how they come up with purple. Well, they have grapes too. All right, and then I'll cut them in half. Hopefully they don't have too many seeds. Oh, nice, no seeds. Very happy. Cut them down again. I'm gonna cut all of them in half again, actually. Let's repeat for all 3. You guys think this one's gonna have seeds? It's like opening up an oyster. Has anyone actually opened an oyster and found a little bit of seeds? The reason you don't want seeds, because when you're biting on it, you like the soft flesh, but then it's kind of like eating a watermelon. Well, it's actually not that hard, but these ones are little baby ones, so I don't mind. By the way, vegetables grow in different sizes by country. Like everything else, this one too is a forearm length piece. Do you know how you know you're in your 30s? When you find happiness out of opening an eggplant. Yes. Once it comes to boil, you'll hear it. Put our eggplants inside and we'll steam it for 4 minutes. All right, that's 4 minutes. Give this a lift up. Poke the ones at the top. Let's see if it's cooked through. Yeah, it goes right through. That's good. Now the only tricky thing about this steamer basket, I have to like slightly close it and then get my crocodile in there and then slowly lift it. Don't fall, don't fall, don't fall, don't fall. Listen to Papa. Don't fall, don't fall. Yes. So give it around 5 to 10 minutes to cool down and then squeeze. All right, so now it's cooled down and we can squeeze the water out. You can also use a cloth bag, of course. And I like to just give it one more final squeeze just so that when you bite into it, you don't get water coming out. That's not good. Wipe out some of the extra water with a paper towel here. 1 tablespoon of soup soy sauce. Again, we generally use soup soy sauce for soups and for seasoning namul, which is just veggie dishes like this. Of course, again, just use regular soy sauce if you like. I like to go outside of the soup bowl. 1/2 tablespoon of minced garlic. And then we're going to put about 1 tablespoon of sesame oil. I want you to add some sesame seeds. We're going to crush this. I like to just use a soup ladle and go around like this. You see how it's broken up like that? Add that in and then bring everything together. Then take a little piece and I want you to give it a sample. This is actually perfect for me. If it tastes a little bit bland, you can finish off with a sprinkle of salt. And then don't forget, we need some color contrast. We'll throw some in here. These are just chopped green onions. Looks beautiful, right? 맛있게 보이지? Then place it in a Tupperware and place in the refrigerator. These are one of those banchans that taste better cold. All right, Hansik always includes some sort of meat. Today we're gonna work with pork belly and we're gonna infuse some 불맛, which is fire flavor. Here we go, guys. We need some pork belly. Let's do 300 grams worth. This recipe was originally from Chef Baek Jo-won. It's so good. I modified slightly to get it tasting even better. If you get samgyeopsal, which are thin strips of pork belly from the Korean market, sometimes they have the bone inside. If you grill it and it's small, I actually like to kind of crunch on that. But for today, I'm going to remove those. Take that piece out. We'll cut the samgyeopsal into bite-sized pieces. And besides the pork belly, the other main ingredient are our spring onions. Grab 3 forearm length pieces or stalks. We'll cut them down in half first. And then we'll just cut them. This will add a nice lift. Then let's grab our chili peppers. 3 Korean chili peppers, the Cheongyang chili peppers. Again, you can substitute this with other hot chili peppers. Decent sizes. 8 cloves of garlic. We gotta have a lot of garlic, guys. It's good for your health. You can chop them thin. This way, doesn't matter. Or you can do both, whatever you feel like. Yeah, garlic party. We'll put it here. Now for this recipe, we're gonna go fast when we're stir frying, and controlling the heat is important. So we're gonna pre-measure. I want 2 tablespoons of soy sauce, 1 tablespoon of sugar. That's gonna help caramelize the outside of the pork skins. Woo! Then 1.5 of gochugaru, the Korean red chili pepper flakes. That's what's going to give our red color. And then set aside 1/4 cup of water. We're going to add this at the very end because the spring onion is going to soak up all of that oil and it's going to turn dry, and we need just a little bit of water to get everything mixed in well. I'll show you at the end. All right, I'm very excited. First, with no heat, we're going to put the pieces onto the frying pan. Drop them on, spread them out a little bit, and then we're going to put this on about a medium heat. Not too high of a heat because we're not trying to caramelize them right now. We want them to release their oil. Don't worry, these pork bellies are going to get very crispy by the end, but in the beginning we want them to, again, release some of that oil because that's what we're going to fry the garlic in. Now you're going to start to see some oil coming out of these pieces. You can give them a little flip now. Just give a few pinches of salt so that you can season these pieces. Alright, and by the time you flip it, you're going to see that there is a good amount of oil in the frying pan. It's a good time to throw in your garlic allies. Put them in between. That is a beautiful sight. And once the garlic has started to get fragrance, the oil, I'm going to take some of this out, all that oil, we're going to take some of it out. You don't have to get everything, just a good amount. Alright, now we're going to add in the sugar. Alright, add it around. Get it in the thing. That sugar is going to caramelize around the pork belly, getting it extra crispy. And of course help balance out the saltiness later. And then we're going to add in our soy sauce. Alright, and key thing here, if you have a gas stove, put it next to the flame like that. And that soy sauce is going to cook in the fire and it's going to get that like nice restaurant flavor. Then we're going to add in our spring onions, soak up all of this, then add our peppers, and then we're going to add in our gochugaru. Yes, mix it up. Wow, guys, just take a look at all this flavor coming together. There's a reason I chose this for the main dish. Beautiful. If you take a look, that spring onion has soaked in all that oil. Now we're going to add in our water to mute everything down. Get a little bit saucy. Stir fry it. And guys, there it is. Oh man, doesn't that look beautiful? A little bit of black pepper, nice flavor. And then finish off with half a tablespoon of sesame oil. So let's give it one last stir. Oh my gosh, this one's just staring at me in the face. Gotta give it a bite. It's so good. And there it is, guys, the pork belly, nicely covered with some spice. There's no way you'll not wolf this down. We're gonna top it off with some sesame seeds. Let's set this up. Rice in the middle, beautiful eggplant here. Oh, it's nice and cold. Then our spicy pork belly. We'll put that right up here. Let's grab a bowl. Don't forget about the potatoes on the bottom. Beautiful. Yes, neighbors. That's what I'm talking about. I of course have to go in for a delicious pork belly. Alright, and there it is. Shall we go in for that first bite? Oh, hopefully I can get it. Yeah, it's coming. Bon appetit, yo. Ah, it's so good. It's not that spicy, contrary to how it looks. Let's get our eggplant. And lifting, refreshing flavor, nice balance to this. And then our delicious Eomuk soup. I think this is how we're gonna close out. It's so good. All right, that's Hansik set B. If you haven't seen our last video, there's Hansik set A. Go ahead and you can feel free to mix and match all the banchans or soups. All doesn't matter. Just make sure to send me a photo on IG so that way I could take a look and then have 대리만족. That translates roughly to feeling good for somebody else. So if you make good food, I feel good too. 대리만족.